As West Ham's winless streak extends to 8 games in all competitions, growing questions are being asked of David Moyes in his untenable managerial position at West Ham United. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all well. You join us for a match reflection, a bit of a dissection of what we saw at the City ground yesterday. Gary's joining me to discuss it. Gary, how are you, mate?
Very good, Jake. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I know you didn't watch the game yesterday, Gary, but do you know what? You still can pretty much sum it up because it's what you would have expected. Because it's what I expected.
I saw the highlights. I was out yesterday afternoon and I saw the lineup. And I thought, I wonder if anyone in the history of Premier League has lost 6-0 and then kept the same defence the following week. That's very strange. And then I sort of obviously following the game remotely. And then I saw the highlights and I watched a bit more of it from various sources, and we just don't look like we had anything. And it's the first time I can remember. Normally, when Moyes needs the result, he gets one way or another. I remember Fulham away last season, and various other times like that. He would always pull it out. But this is the first time that I can remember that we did nothing. Yeah. And it's 11-0 now the last 3 games, isn't it?
That's pathetic. We've had more red cards in 2024 than outfield goals, for goodness sake. I mean, it's an utter embarrassment. And I just felt a little bit disconnected from it. I felt quite disconnected from it in the second half of the Arsenal game last week. And I wasn't even that, annoyed as the game was unfolding because I knew what was going to happen. I'd already faced the reality we were probably going to lose the match. And as it carried on, and pretty much after that Antonio miss, where it wasn't a miss because he didn't even have a get shot off in the end. But that incident, I just went, yeah, this ain't gonna happen, is it? And I was sort of summoned to the reality of what was going to happen. And do you know what? It's just tedious now. I'm just sick and tired and bored of it. Let's see who is joining us in the chat before we go any further. David Hector says Moyes and his followers are telling us that Ron Greenwood and John Large achievements are not as great as what Moyes has done. Do you know what? The ardent Moyes fans are really starting to get on my nerves, actually, especially on social media, because I mean, it's defending the indefensible at this point. I mean, just give up at this stage because you'd say 95% of the fan base would sack him if they had the opportunity to now. And it's just tedious. Him stood there doing the same thing week in, week out. And it's got to a new low, Gary.
Yeah, I think the last time I was on with Nigel and yourself, I said it's actually getting boring, the football. It's, I've got tickets, obviously season tickets, and I'm thinking Brentford next week. Do I really want to go all that way?
Day night.
Knowing what's going to happen. It's like, when you get the same lunch every day, you think to yourself, you know what's going to happen. I'm getting really bored of this now. Can we have a change? But you still have the same lunch. It's just
yeah.
I just don't understand.
Do you know what? That analogy sums it up. Perfect.
Yeah. What it is. You think to yourself, back in the day, we never used to get turned over under Moyes. Hardly ever we get thumped. And this season we had 4 against Villa, 5 against Fulham, 5 against Liverpool, 6 against Arsenal, and some of the other games. Areola's been man of the match. We just, his whole premise, David Moyes, very well organised, very well set up. 9 times out of 10 he sets up not to lose rather than to win, and that's gone. And you can see, in my opinion, I might be wrong, of course, but in my opinion, I don't think the players believe in his tactics anymore.
Absolutely not. And I think an indication of where you're at as a team is that in my assessment of the games so far in 2024, I think Alphonse Areola has been man of the match for West Ham in more games than not. And that's where your issue stands, because he has kept us in games relatively often in the last few months. He's if it wasn't for him, I mean, they had some decisions go against him yesterday for us. They could have had a penalty. There was a
that was a certain penalty. That was a definite penalty.
Yeah. And there was a goal disallowed that I thought was rather dubious as well. And the amount of chances they had, and you can go back through all the games. Bournemouth should have beat us. Go back. And there's so many games and so many incidents where you think, do you know what, we got a little bit lucky there. I thought Man United away, I thought we were unlucky. But that's an anomaly in what's happened over the last couple of months. And this sort of run has been boiling for a long time. You could argue it's been boiling for a couple of years. I mean, Moyes has always sort of stood up again with a performance or with a result, just to push our complaints back a couple of weeks. And he's been unable to do that, and it seems like it's now reaching its natural conclusion of Moyes can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you look back at really the second half of the season when we finished 7th, we started to get a bit predictable in our away results, and we kept going at home. Last season in the league, people forget we finished, I think, 14th, was it, or 15th? 14th. We were terrible for most of the season. We started very well this season, and now we're just falling back again. The old patterns. I think the biggest thing I see, we really lack leaders. We got nobody on the pitch who's grabbing by the scruff of the neck at all. We don't look like we've been got any tactics, or we've been coached in any way, straight or form. You watch a team like Gary O'Neill's Wolves, they come out and they know exactly what they've got to do each game. You know, you would argue, I would argue quite strongly, we've got a better squad than Wolves, but they know what they're doing, and we just don't seem to know what we're doing. We just don't seem to know. And I just, like I said to you right at the start, how can you lose 6-0 at home and pick the same defence following week when they were so bad? I mean, Aguirre yesterday again was abject. He's just, he can't defend. Zuma, bless him, his knees are gone, and he's not a leader. Soufal's in a bad run of form. Emerson's confidence is gone, and you can tell that the whole team lacks confidence, because when you've got confidence, you're driving forward, you're looking to pass, you're enjoying being on the ball, you're wanting it, you're chasing it, you're calling for it. Everyone's gone hiding now, and I think a lot of that is down to the tactics and the man management. Like we said earlier, a few weeks back, Jake, after Sheffield United. I mean, you and I are not Danny Ings fans, but he was fantastic at Sheffield United, and he gets dropped.
Yeah. And he hasn't had a sniff since. Just to pick you up on that point about the sort of the planning and preparation that is lacking in games. And, you know, you mentioned Gary O'Neill's side who perfectly turned up and executed a plan and beat Tottenham by all accounts yesterday, which, you know, we all had a wry smile at. But if we put that and we compare that with West Ham, and I noticed it yesterday as well, is that from set pieces, from free kicks where Ward-Prowse can't have a shot, from set pieces, from throw-ins, I ain't got a clue. It's like a Sunday league side. Surely, how much does it take to get the players together? How many analysts and statisticians and coaches have we got? And how many more do we need to get before somebody realises, hang on, why don't we get a plan for that sort of, you know, set piece that's just inside our half or just inside the opposition half, and make a plan of it? Or for a throw-in, why don't we get our players to move around and make an option, and, you know, just to try and push the game on a little bit more? Everything we do is so predictable, pedestrian, if I can get words out. It's just painful. I think we've lost Gary. We'll try.
I'm back. There you go. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. That's all right. But yeah, it's just everything we seem to do is so predictable and lethargic, and teams are 2-3 steps ahead. They know exactly what we're going to do.
Exactly. That's the big problem. Like we touched on earlier about going to the games. You just know what's going to happen. You absolutely know what's going to happen. And I think Moyes has lost confidence in himself, because I was thinking a couple of years back, he played like Ngake as fullback when we were, the fullback down. He doesn't trust the youth now. You know, if I was Scarles and Obama, they're travelling and they know they're not coming on. Not going to happen. Like last week at Arsenal, was at the stadium, was 6-0 down, takes Emerson off. Why not bring Scarles on? Just for 15 minutes, get experience. No, brings Cresswell on, who we all know is leaving at the end of the season. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. Even yesterday, I mean, substitutions last week, half time. Let's bring on a defensive midfielder and a right back when you're 4-0 down. Same as yesterday. We did nothing till the 67th minute when Phillips was sent off, and then you can see him thinking, "Oh, better do something now." But he doesn't. It's just staggering. I just don't get it.
It's an absolute joke when we're a goal down, and even the commentators for the stream I was watching, the commentators said that, you know, Cornet has been ready to go for about 10 minutes down there, and he hasn't come on yet. And I'm like, there we go. Kevin Nolan doesn't strike me as a tactical genius, and yet every single player that comes on as a sub has got to go through a 5 or 6 minute like tactical analysis looking at Kevin Nolan's iPad. Some of these players can't even understand what Kevin Nolan's saying probably in his accent. So, I mean, they're not taking in anything that he's saying. They just want to get on and play. I mean, if we're a goal down, the tactics are clear. Get the ball, try and go forward and score a goal, for God's sake. What groundbreaking stuff is Kevin Nolan telling these players before they got onto the pitch? And what are you telling Thomas Souček? What's the point of giving tactical analysis to Thomas Souček when he comes on the 85th minute? minute when we're a goal down away from home at Nottingham Forest. What's he going to do? It's such a token gesture to say, oh, I tried to put players on. I think Danny Ings stayed on the bench yesterday. When you brought Thomas Souček on, he's not a match winner. He can't pass the ball 5 yards, so he's not going to win us a football match, is he?
No, I know. And also, you think, why are you having these conversations now, Danny, Kevin? Yeah. You work with these guys all week. It's like me and you sitting together all week, Jacob, just before you go on. You know what you're doing, do you? And you're like, oh, yeah. No. We've just sat together all week. It's just, all Kevin knows to say is, plan A or plan C, whatever it is. It's just, I don't know. And I'm fed up with the pundits saying, oh, you're 8th in the Premier League, you're still in Europe. You don't have to watch it every week. No. It's just dire. I mean, I think on current form, we scored 1 goal from open play in the Premier League this year, and that was Cornet's at Sheffield United, who are terrible.
Crap.
They're really bad. And since then, we just don't even look like scoring. That's the thing. We don't even look like scoring. Last 2 games, I haven't looked at the stats, but I bet, what's his name? Yes, he's their keeper. I forget what their keeper's name is. Whoever, their new keeper. He had nothing to do. Nothing to do at all.
No, absolutely not. And what summed it up completely was, I turned to Dad half hour in and went, we ain't scoring there, because I honestly don't know where we're scoring goals. And if one more commentator, when James Ward-Prowse gets a free kick in the vicinity of the goal, goes, and James Ward-Prowse is 1 goal off levelling David Beckham's record, I'm going to just turn it off, because it's really starting to get on my nerves. And do you know what? I thought Ward-Prowse was a little bit marginally better yesterday, but I don't think any of them were particularly good. Areola kept us in the game. And it's just the naivety of it. And, I didn't really think of, before you said about the same back line after a 6-0 dribble, I didn't even think of that. And I was a little bit like, yeah, whatever, when the lineup came out at 2:00 yesterday. But my opening line to the word of my build-up show yesterday was, today will be a vital indication of whether David Moyes has lost his dressing room. It told you all you needed to know. Kudus disinterested, Agurd disinterested, Bowen couldn't get in, Antonio shoving his arms up in the air, falling over at any given opportunity. There is no leaders on that pitch. There is no effort. There's no fight. There's no passion, and you can't just blame it on Lucas Paqueta. And that's what Moyes consistently does. Lucas Paqueta is a very good footballer, but he is not a flipping miracle worker, for God's sake. If Lucas Paqueta comes back into that side, all of our problems aren't drastically, solved. They're not. He will solve some problems, but he doesn't solve Agurd and Zuma's defensive crapness, does it?
Yeah.
There's so many flaws in this side. And do you know what? I watched the Luton Man United game a minute ago, and it was refreshing to see a side like Luton have a go. And I thought they were relatively unfortunate in the game. And I watched it, and I sat back and went, if only we could play like this.
Let's have a go.
16th.
That's what we've always done, had a go, Now we don't. The other thing I'm really worried about is the overall image of the club going forward, because Sullivan famously leaves these decisions to the last minute, and it's not healthy for anyone. It's not healthy for Moyes, not healthy for the players. He needs to decide to say, okay, your time's up, David. Stay to the end of the season, whatever. Or we're going to get someone in now, and just make a decision. But secondly, the youth. The youth players must be so cheesed off. If we ever scored in open play and you still can't get in the team, what are they going to do? They're not going to sign new contracts. We're going to leave. I would.
Yeah.
They literally can't do any worse, and it sends a terrible message out to the future youth players and also future managers. Because I think, unfortunately, Tim Steidten's going to have his head turned by Liverpool.
Absolutely.
And he, as far as I'm concerned, he's done fantastically well.
Yeah.
This Osman guy he recommended, Sullivan said no, and then Brighton booked by him literally the day after. It's just crazy the way clubs being run.
Yeah, I take your point in, wholeheartedly agree in terms of the image of the football club. I can't see, I tweeted it earlier, I can't see us beating Brentford next week, sorry. And do you know what? It's a similar position last year. I think we played Brentford just after Christmas last year when, we were really, really bad, and it was inevitable that we were going to lose. And do you know what? I don't ever predict West Ham to lose a football match, but I'm expecting West Ham to lose next week. Then we go to Everton, and that Moyes out banner will be at Everton as well. I'll be at Everton, and do you know what? It's not going to be nice. It's really not going to be nice, and I don't know. I don't know what the action is, but Moyes, but he won't get sacked. And it was both Forest fans and West Ham fans yesterday singing, "You're going to get sacked in the morning." And I just said, I wish he was, because he's not going to. We all know he's not going to get sacked. We can hope for it, but it's not going to happen. They don't like sacking managers, and it's got to get, I've said all season, it's got to get seriously bad. How Sullivan defines seriously bad. He was there yesterday, Sullivan. His car was in the car park at the City ground. How is he watching that and seeing those banners at the end and going, yeah, I'm going to stick by him? Because it's us that pay the money and travel and, commit our time to this team and just get served up this utter crap.
And it's the arrogance and what's the word? Patronisation of David Moyes afterwards. If he tells me one more time this club's never had it so good, we came 6th, 7th, it's our 3rd year, and go, yeah, we know. We're talking about now, Dave. We're talking about the stuff you have to pay. I pay over £1,000 a season to watch West Ham. And believe it or not, I just want to be entertained. I've supported West Ham all my life. We've never won the league. I've never once said to all my friends we're going to win the league this season. I don't expect us to win the league, ever. I expect us to try and entertain. But that's it. And if we win a couple on the way, that's fantastic. But it's just so dire. Yeah. It's really boring.
And we've copped a lot of flack from other fans over the last day or two since that picture of the banner came out, and everybody's saying we're ungrateful and we're this and we're that. But the fact and reality is that Bournemouth were in a similar, not the same dilemma last season. As Gary O'Neill plays a certain way that's now working for him at Wolves, and people saying bring Gary O'Neill in, as I think is a little bit peculiar because he plays a similar way to David Moyes, but he's got that working fair enough at Wolves. But Bournemouth wanted to show a bit of ambition. Bournemouth went, we're going to switch things up. We're going to play a bit more expansive football. And now all of a sudden under Andoni Iraola, their fan base is happy. They're playing nice football. They might not be in the top half of the table, but I think they will be next season if they continue the way they are. And it's just got to the stage where people are just fed up of it now. We'll forever be grateful for that summer's night in Prague, but credit in the bank runs out pretty swiftly in football. And in modern day football, if you don't win a game in 8 games, you're usually gone. And unfortunately, he's still in a job. Let's take some comments before we move on. Usual Suspect says he's lost the players, he's lost the supporters. We are now rudderless. We are now a rudderless ship in the night. David, thanks for joining us. Pete, hope you are well. I feel like my dog's died. Do you know what? I haven't said it for a while, but it just feels like it's dying, Gary, doesn't it? The support and the passion for it is just slowly being just oozed out of us, and it's just so deflating.
Yeah, it is, and like I said earlier, it's the predictability of it all. You just know. I was really surprised I saw the lineup yesterday. I was really surprised. I was out, as I said earlier. I was waiting for the lineup to come through, and I looked at it and I thought, what? I just literally couldn't believe Zuma was playing again. Aguirre was playing again. I thought, well, away to Arsenal, Ogbonna and Mavropanos were fantastic. So why are they not starting? And why do we not give Ollie Scales a run out? Why not change the formation? It's just, I don't know. I just can't see. Souček Aguilar was dropped. I thought he's been terrible for weeks and weeks. And we've got to try something different. We've got the players around, and we've got to try something different, because it's like Einstein's theory. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, then guess what? Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely clueless.
I worry against Brentford. I worry about Everton. Then we've got Burnley at home, and that's
that's the only game that you look at now. And we go to Burnley, then we've got Villa and Newcastle, then Tottenham. Imagine what Tottenham are going to do to us right now.
I'll tell you, we're really lucky. We've got 36 points, so. There's no danger of us going down at all, but I haven't seen the current form table, but we must be near the bottom of it. Must be.
Yeah. Ollie put in the chat, he said, the only team with less Premier League points in 2024 is Burnley. That tells you all you need to know. Lee, thanks for joining us. I hope you are well. Nigel, just get rid of Moyes now. It's hard to disagree with that one. Ollie says it's depressing, not expecting a change against Brentford. No, in all honesty, we're not. And that's the sad part of it, is that we all know what's going to happen. And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that stadium's only 3/4 full. It's a Monday night. A lot of people will sack it off and go, do you know what? I just can't be bothered. I'll be surprised if there's more than a 75% capacity in there next Monday, if I'm being totally honest. Because, if I had the choice, I wouldn't. I don't know what you do, Gary, but at this current moment,
I used to go to all the midweek games, Jake, Monday night, Wednesday night, but now this season, because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
I just.
It's on the telly.
Yeah. Even that, mate, if it wasn't on the telly, I just think it's a long way to go. It's a Monday night. Yeah. It's going to be boring. We're going to lose. Yeah. I don't mind losing. Losing is part of football, but there's a way to lose. There's a way to lose. And like the capitulation against Arsenal of what I saw yesterday, we're not looking like scoring. Not even looking like scoring.
There is no threat whatsoever. And you know what? Antonio made that run through, and I was like, I went, go on. And then I sat back and went, he ain't going to score, is he? And the commentator said he's got plenty of time to think about it. It's Antonio. I laughed and went, yeah, he ain't going to score then, is he? And he didn't even register a shot. And whoever was on commentary said, yeah, he's been out for a while. I don't care whether he's been out for a while. A Premier League footballer had so much time and didn't even get a shot off and goal. That summed it up completely. But yeah. Hey ho.
That's him all over. You give him too much time and he just doesn't know what to do. And again, that's not his fault. You know, we haven't got any forwards at the club. Bowen and Antonio, both wingers, converted to the thing. And Dithering Dave just hasn't seen anyone. You know, he had two forwards. Haller, I thought, and Skamaka, both forwards, never really given a chance. And now we haven't got anyone. Well, Danny Ings, again, that he's not a typical Moyes forward. He's excellent at playing off somebody. But... You know, it's been what, 4 years we're looking for a forward? I can't remember. Was the last good forward we had?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to think. It would have been.
I don't even want to answer that question, to be honest.
I suppose, what's his name? Chicharito was a forward, wasn't
he? Yeah, he scored a few, didn't he?
I literally can't think of anyone we've had for years.
No. And that sums it up completely. But
years.
It is what it is, isn't it? And unfortunately, you know, we get to the stage where Danny Ings isn't the resolution. You know, we all know that Danny Ings isn't the resolution to all of our problems. But for goodness sake, it was nearly a month ago now. He's been crap for 2 years. And it was nearly a month ago now that he had his first decent game in a West Ham shirt in a system that benefited everybody involved. Yeah. Guess what? Sit on the bench, mate. We're not going to try that again. You know, you played well, but we're not going to try that again, Danny. Sit on the bench, mate. It just sums it up. Right, let's take some more comments. Adrian says, well, mate, he says, looking at our remaining fixtures, I can't see where Moyes is getting his 5 wins that he wants. We're a poor team with low morale. Right, Gary, we're going to play a little game before we carry on. I'm going to run through the remaining fixtures that we've got. And in our current sort of vein of form and the way we're playing, I want you to say win, lose, or draw. Right, ready?
Yep.
Brentford.
Optimistically draw.
Draw. Wow.
Everton.
So lose. 1 point. Everton. Lose.
Lost there.
Burnley.
Win.
So that's 4 points. Aston Villa.
Lose.
Newcastle.
Lose.
Tottenham.
Lose.
Wolves.
Is that away?
Wolves away. Yeah.
Lose.
Fulham home.
You got to beat Fulham. We got to draw. Stroke win.
I'll go and draw. We ain't beating them. Crystal Palace away.
We always lose there somehow, but we do. So yeah, that's another loss.
Liverpool home.
Don't even have to ask that one, Jake. That's to lose.
Yeah. Okay. Chelsea away.
Again, lose.
Luton home.
Why they're playing? That's a bloody hard game. That is maybe a draw.
6 points. Man City away. And I'll finish it off. So 6 points from our remaining 13 games.
The only chance we're City away is if they won the league. If City have won the league by then and they're in the Champions League final.
Champions League final, yeah.
We might get something. Otherwise, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It really isn't.
I think you've been quite optimistic there, Gary, from some as well. In our current vein of form, 6 points from our remaining 13 games. 6 points.
Well, you can't see where the next goal's coming from, let alone the next win. But Burnley are the one team. Company's just as stubborn as Moyes, isn't he? He's got this way of playing it, and he continues to do it. Even though they've won one home game all season, he still tries it every week. Yeah. So hopefully the two stubbornest managers in the league will result in us beating them, but because they've got some poor players as well. So we should beat Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley is the one that I'm, that's the banker. That's the one that I'm putting all my money on. If we don't beat Burnley, we just well call it a day. Right. Before we carry on, we've got nearly 70 people watching live. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Just 22 likes currently on this show. Smash that like button. Let's get it up to 50 at least. We'll keep going through your comments and entertaining you. in inverted commas on this Sunday evening. Dancing with Arses on the telly, so I definitely don't want to watch that. George says Moyes is a one-trick pony, and the trick is no longer working. Moyes out. Thank goodness for YouTube therapy. Well, Gary, you're now providing therapy alongside all of your fantastic traits as a person, eh?
Yeah, exactly. This is my therapy trait. I was going to show you my therapy trait. This is what the best Easter egg in the world.
Easter egg. It's February. Incredible egg. Yorkie and raisin. I'm sorry, Gary. It's February.
But they're selling them in the shop, so you can't help yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is one hell of an Easter egg. That looks rather large. Yeah, fair play.
That's why I'm so fat.
Don't say that. We are both not happy. Our resident Spurs fan, Ronnie, they lost this weekend, didn't they? We are both not happy fans, both of us watching rubbish. They go, at least you're watching entertaining rubbish, though. We're watching boring rubbish.
What I've seen is Spurs, at least they go on the front foot, to be fair.
Exactly.
They're a bit naive at the back, but they go on the front foot.
Absolutely. The same 14 fixtures last season got us 9 points, but there you go. We'd take the same amount at the moment and finish on 45 points. Do you know what that comment epitomises it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we've got 9 points from our remaining games. What a stat that is. Yeah. I will be Adrian. I'll be nicking that and putting that out in shows to come. That's good. I like that. I like that stat.
How many points did we get last season?
Oh, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot.
About 45, wasn't it?
Premier League. What season was last year? 23, 24?
No, 22, 23.
22, 23. I'm going to have a look. It couldn't have been more than 45, could it?
No, I reckon it's about the same, isn't it?
40 we got last year on the nose.
Did we?
That can't be right.
That's really bad. Wow.
Well, yeah, because Southampton went down on 25, Leeds on 31, and Leicester on 34.
We only had 40 points.
We only got 40 points. I thought we got more than that.
Wow, that shows how bad we've been. There you go. That's another reason. 40 points over a season.
Yeah.
So over the last 50 odd games, we've got God almighty.
Mental, absolutely mental. That's comment of the night. Kevin Nolan's taking the post-match meal order.
Domino.
Exactly, yeah. Let's get the takeaways in, lads. Don't worry about it. Luton played really well, so they did. It was refreshing. And, they have been so unlucky. They could, on another day, they could have so many more points against these big six sides at home. They've pushed everyone. They even pushed Man City at home. They've pushed Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal got a last-minute winner. Liverpool were lucky to get a point off of them at Kenilworth Road. Do you know what? I do hope they stay up.
To be fair, they should have got a penalty against us at injury time.
Handball, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So they need some luck to turn their way, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah. Nolan's only tactic is to stand on the keeper, and his other tactic is to get himself sent off just before Christmas, so he has his little break. That's what he's telling the players. That's why they're all getting sent off.
But you got to ask yourself anything. Talk a serious point. We lost Stuart Pearce. We lost what's his name? Paul Levin.
We lost the whole brigade, didn't we? It's all gone downhill since then. Nevin, Pearce. What was the other one? Irvine. We lost them all.
Yeah. Why have they all left?
Don't know.
I've heard, I heard an interview with Warburton, who basically said that Moyes was very much dictatorish, which is not how you do it this day and age.
It's not surprising, though, is it? It's not a surprise.
No, you can see he's stuck in the dinosaurs, but he's got unshakable belief in his own thing, and that's it. He's very arrogant, very stubborn about things. So
yeah,
I don't know.
For sure. We are 9th and falling like a stone, unfortunately. We are. Ollie says Kenilworth Road always reminds me of Upton Park a bit, and they got behind their team and they were unlucky this afternoon. Adrian follows on and says they kept going like they did against us, and we were lucky they didn't get a late penalty as well. Exactly. Bang on. Luton played really well. Should have had a draw at the very least. At half time, I thought they were incredibly unfortunate to be going. And when they scored 2 goals in the first 4 minutes, I thought, Christ, this is going to be a nightmare here. But they managed to pull it back, and they should have got something from the game. They deserved it. David says, Kudus on the left. Moyes really doesn't know what he has. Surely you put your best and most creative player in the centre of the park, especially when Paqueta's not there. Those three were so far apart yesterday. Kudus, Antonio and Bowen. They were like social distancing to the biggest extent possible. And they don't support each other. They don't... it's just...
You can guarantee, unfortunately, that Kudus is speaking to his agent saying, look, you got to get me out of here. This bloke's in charge. Paqueta's already made it perfectly clear he's off. So it's going to be another summer of transformation, which we don't need. So, I accept that the bigger clubs are coming for our better players. 1 or 2 should leave every year. It keeps the things fresh. But, we could lose Alvarez, we could lose Paqueta, we could lose Kudos. It could be a terrible start for us unless the board come out and say this is what we're doing.
Exactly. This sums up, doesn't it? Kudos, best position in order. Cam, right wing, striker, left wing, literally being played in his fourth best position.
Yeah. He'll probably be left wing back next week.
Yeah, centre half.
Yeah.
In the double pivot with Alvarez.
Oh God! Thank God Ariola so good at being goal.
Exactly. Yeah, if he's not sacked by now, I fear he's here to the end of the season. We'll be left in a right mess, absolutely, for sure. Other fans and pundits only see the results and not the dross every week. Yeah, what's his name? Chris Sutton changed his tune today when he was talking about his own club, Celtic, because they're playing some pretty poor, predictable football under Brendan Rodgers. He was, criticising it. Weren't you criticising West Ham fans for criticising what you're criticising about Chris Sutton? Hey, honestly, these pundits have just been exposed completely because you can't sack Moyes, you can't do this, stay in your lane, do this, do that.
But this season is horribly mirroring the last season of Sam Allardyce. 14-15, we were fourth at Christmas. His contract was running out. Everybody knew he was on his way. I can't remember, we finished like 15th or something. And the second half of the season was just dire, and it's bang on repeat now. Sacking's happened. Everyone knows Moyes is going, but it's not official. So won't sack him because he's too tight. It's just not how you run a club.
Yeah, exactly. Adrian said, went to the Ebbsfleet game today. 3-0 win, some decent football and £50 for a ticket and beers before and after the game and in the ground. Forgot how much fun it was going to football. And can you remember the last time? Obviously, we enjoy the day out from the football, but when was the last time you properly got excited to watch a West Ham game live in the flesh? A really good go here, but I don't know.
The Chelsea game was not too bad.
Chelsea, yeah,
that wasn't too bad. But since then, can't think of one actually. No,
we've been to a fair few away games this season. Gary's gone. He's back again. We've been to a fair few away games this season. I've seen one win away from home. We did miss the Arsenal, the Spurs, and the Burnley games. But the only time I've seen West Ham win away this season is against Brighton, and that was a second game or whatever it was, third game of the season. For God's sake, I mean, it's just so just tedious. So we need to put pressure on Sullivan, or he will kick the can down the road. As long as they stay in the Premier League, Sullivan will be happy as a tourist. We'll keep filling those seats, buy the overpriced food and the beer as well. It's become a chore to go there, to be totally honest.
It really has. It really has.
To pay the money and to have a beer, it costs you £6. If you want food, you're not getting much change from 20, and it's just faff, isn't it, really?
It is. It's just, I don't know. The tactics, we never really go at someone. We never really sort of, let's have a go at them. Bournemouth at home is another classic example. Now, Bournemouth are a good side. I'm not saying they're not, but we're playing Bournemouth at home. We've got to attack Bournemouth at home. We can't hit them on the counter-attack, If it's Arsenal, you can see what he's trying to do. That's why when the first goal went in, the players thought, what do we do now? We just got to attack. There's a way to lose. I accept losing, but you've got to try to win at least. And Moyes sets up not to lose. And there is a difference between trying to win and not setting up not to lose. Exactly. And this is where he goes.
Yeah. Just to return to the debate we were having about when was the last time we actually had a decent striker at the football club. A couple of people have come back. Two people have said Dean Ashton. Dean Ashton left West Ham United on the 11th of December 2009, of course, when he retired due to his horrific injury.
Was that the last
2009, he left the club.
I can't. He must have someone. Tevez was before that, wasn't he?
Struggling, really struggling. Do you know what? That's it, and that epitomises over a huge period of time our inability to sign a decent striker. We've had good strikers at the football club. Sebastian Haller is a good striker, but we didn't play to his strengths. We didn't play to the way he wanted to play. And yes, just a frustration boiled out with him over at the end, and I lost my temper with him. But that wasn't because he's a bad footballer, because he gave up a little bit. And when I look back now, I don't blame him for giving up, if I'm totally honest with you. And if you link that into what we've got now, is that heads are dropping. There isn't a leader on that pitch. If there is one, I think it's Edson Alvarez. Give him the armband now, because Zuma's not a leader. Apart from that, I'm struggling to find a leader in this team. The heads are dropping. The body language is absolutely appalling from those players. The the dressing room is lost, and you could just tell yesterday. I'm no body language expert, but the heads were down. There was no effort. There was no sort of plan B, C, D. There wasn't a plan A to start with. No wonder a B or a C, which is just awful.
I think he's run out.
Pardon?
I think he's run out of ideas. I think, Jake. To be honest, I think he's run out of ideas. I don't think he knows what he's going to do next. To be honest.
Absolutely, for sure. Rumor has it Julian Lopetegui wants the job. He has turned down Crystal Palace because of it. Listen, he sounds like a nice name, but do you know what? I think Wolves were in a really bad way when he left. I think they were playing some pretty poor football in his final games at Wolves. So yeah, I'd be a little bit sceptical with that if it was me. I'm not sure. We'll see whether that develops, but I can't see him being sacked. Even Burnley could beat us in form. That's not even too much of a stretch out of the imagination. We got lucky beating them back in November with 2 goals in the last 15 minutes, whatever it was, and that Souček goal on the 95th minute or whatever. We were very lucky to beat them that day, and it's not massively out of the question that they beat us. Beat us, Gary, is it?
Well, the way we're playing, let's face facts. We didn't beat Bristol City in 2 games. So there's no reason why we can't not lose to Burnley. Can't lose to Burnley, but I can't. He needs to do something to change things around. Either bring in the youth or change the tactics, which he won't do. I don't know. Play 2 up front, play a bit more down the middle, a bit more. Paquetá would help, but I don't know. I just think it's not looking good, Jake. It's not looking good at all.
It's not. Just before we carry on, 66 people watching, just 34 likes. If you want Moyes to leave, hit that like button. It won't help him leaving, but it will help me. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Plenty of content out on the channel. My seething match reaction, of course, from yesterday's debacle is on the channel alongside all of the other content as well. Our players seem to be afraid of the halfway line. And I take it back to the Luton game this afternoon. They get the ball. Their first instinct is to go forward, is to attack, is to try and get forward and put a ball into the box and cause problems. Our first, port of call is let's not lose the ball and let's pass it safely, sideways, backwards. And we'll get a free kick in their half. We'll pass it back to the centre halves. We'll go to Zuma. We'll go to Areola. Areola hoof it up. Antonio may win the header, but then we'll lose the second ball. So then the Bulls regain possession for the opposition. It's a cycle that happens so much. We let the ball up, we lose it. We pass the ball through the middle, we lose it. We try and put a ball into the box when there's no one there, we lose it. It's never ending.
Yeah, confidence is a massive in all sports, be it squash, basketball, football, and no player's got any confidence at the moment. You can see nobody wants the ball. Where I sit on the halfway line at the London Stadium, you can see when we get throw-ons, people are visibly hiding. They just don't want the ball. And if they do get it, they pass it backwards to Zuma, or they're not taking responsibility. There's no one breaking with pace. It's only Kudos as a go, and that's what you need. You need someone to break the lines and make these players uncomfortable, but. We just, as I said, Jake, we're not looking like scoring. It's not as if I can't remember any chances against Arsenal, nothing against Forest. United, we should have scored a couple. Bournemouth, we were terrible.
Yeah,
it's just not good.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Bristol City played us off the park, really, after we
twice.
Yeah, it was awful.
Especially in the away game. I think you were there as well, Gary. There was 6,000 of us there, for God's sake, and it was, well, how many was that? It was obvious, from the moment we made that cock up at the back with Mavropanos, we didn't pose a threat at all, when they were astounded, and we were like, yeah, there we go again. What a surprise. But did Moyes promise he wants 5 points or 5 wins from the remaining 14 games for the game? We'll be lucky to finish with 40 points, I think. Can we? Yeah, we've got.
Go on, Paul. Paul could be more optimistic than that. He's more optimistic than that. I know.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. We got more points than last season. Well, we only need 4 to get to that, and we won't even get that. Exactly. We finished 14th last year. I mean, the quality was shocking last year. And 40 points has got us relegated in the past, But
yeah, we did. Yeah, we're down with 42.
Yeah. Went down with 42 under Road, was it that season?
42. Yeah. 42. I think the players are fed up. Everybody's fed up. Apart from Sullivan, who just doesn't want to pay him off.
Exactly, yeah. Trini, thanks for joining us. I hope you are well. Tuchel could become available soon. I take him at West Ham. Yeah, I think that's the third consecutive defeat for Bayern Munich. And yeah, Bayern Munich don't accept one defeat. They lost today again. Yeah.
Blimey. Did Kane score?
I don't know. I tell you what, I do. Do you know what? Now he's left Spurs, I can feel from a little bit because they win the league every year, and he's gone there. He's scored about 25 goals in about 20 games, and they come up against a side in Bayer Leverkusen that haven't lost a game all season.
They lost to a third division team in the cup as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, you can take Kane out of Spurs, but you can't take the Spurs out of Kane.
I bet everyone's saying, just go back to England. Go anywhere.
Exactly. I'm sick and tired of both pundits and other fans telling me what I can and can't think exactly. Oh, you're entitled. We can say whatever we like about our football club. It's none of your business. It's no business of a Crystal Palace fan or an Everton fan to say what we can and can't believe about our own football club. It's utterly ridiculous. Ignore the press. Yeah, go on.
It's exactly the point, Jake, because the phonies I listen to, I don't hear one West Ham fan that's saying we should be in Europe, we should win the league, we should win. No, I don't hear one West Ham fan saying it. All we're saying is, let's be entertained. Let's have a go. Let's try and win the football. That's all we want to see. That's all we're saying. That's literally all we're saying. We won the Conference League, and that was brilliant. But let's be honest, we were by far the best team in that league. By far.
Yeah.
So if we didn't win, it was more, really bad management not to win that one.
Yeah, look, in this sort of scenario, there's vivid similarities to Brighton away last year, in which it was a complete down tools from the players, and then Moyes came out and blamed the fans afterwards. And I seriously lost my rag with it last year, but Moyes blamed the fans again. He didn't blame the fans, but he had a dig at the fans again in the presser. But I didn't get angry. I laughed at it. I laughed at his foolishness to sit there in the post-match press conference and say, "Yeah, this is the best time West Ham ever had." Blah blah blah. And then the last sentence was, they can get in an exciting manager, but the one that sits here wins more. If somebody tell him we haven't won a game in 2024, we haven't won a game since the 28th of December 2023. We are winless in 8 in all competitions, and our manager is sat there in press conferences saying, "It's what I do, I win." No, what you do is you're losing every single week.
And he's very arrogant to say that. I mean, I've been a West Ham fan a long time, and the period between 1980 and 1986 was my favourite period. We won cups, we played good football, we had Devonshire, we had Brooklyn, we had McAvenny, we had Cotty. They were really exciting times. And that was by far the most entertaining phase of the West Ham. And Harry, I used to like Harry Redknapp. He'd always have a go, Harry. He would never set up. We used to get tonked many times under Harry. I remember losing 6-0 at Everton, we get hammered, but we'd also, the following week, win 4-0. He'd always have a go. The players' confidence was up, and if he saw a good youngster like Joe Cole or Carrick or Defoe, he puts them in. Let him have a game. And Moyes, there can't be, some of these youngsters must be good. He won the Youth Cup. There's still 1 or 2 that are coming through, surely.
Exactly. They can't do much worse at the moment, can they? Happy Hammer, very much indeed for joining us. That Luton match was a good game, best I've seen in a while. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Can't believe, what's this here? Can't believe Jake hasn't passed you a spanner. Well, have I not? I don't know. I can't do 2 things at once, Can't you do it, Dad? Boycott the game against Brentford. That will hurt Sullivan. Yeah, I don't think it'll be anywhere near full in there. And I don't blame one single fan for sacking it off, because we will be. And yeah, I don't blame one fan at all. Favoritism. Okay. I see how it is. Cornet scored next. He's been dropped. Ings, best game as a number 10. Next. He's dropped Johnson, best player. Yeah, then he was dropped after that. It's just a cycle of just utter bizarreness. And that's not even a word, but it is now. I cannot get my head around it whatsoever. Cyclops says, evening, says it all when Luton are more entertaining than us. They are.
Yeah. Ross Barry looks fantastic this season.
He looks like a player, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Really rejuvenised with the Hatters. There is no excusing that turgid football. It's been going on for too long. Even the Seagulls got 5 past Sheffield United tonight. How awful are we? We went there. Moyes wanted the point. He got the point. The next two sides to visit Bramall Lane have won 5-0. So there we go. Just about sums it up, doesn't it? You know, you can blame the referees and players and all the rest of it, but the fact and reality is we shouldn't have drew away from home to Sheffield United. That's it. Villa have got players out. Brighton have got players out. Just excuses. It's excuses to divert away from the fact is that we should have beat them because we should have done. And that's on us, not the referees. Yeah, we should have had a penalty, but got to move on, and you've got to, you know, face the facts in these situations. Moyes has lost the plot. I'm tired of seeing him. Yeah, I think we're just tired, and he has lost the plot. You know, he's got to the point where he's so disillusioned by his own beliefs and his own narrative that he keeps reinforcing that he can't see on the board can't see what's best for the football club.
No, they can't. They can't. Unfortunately, boycotting the game. You know, the revenue's already in because we have, I think, the highest percentage season ticket holders in the Premier League, unfortunately. So, you know, I admire the sentiment, but you know, it's hard not to be positive because I can't think of anything that's really looking well at the club at the moment. We need some leadership at the top and on the field. We need the board to say this is what's happening. You know, we're going to get, I don't know, Bilic in interim manager or someone else in for the rest of the season, just to shake it up a little bit, and then we're going to look at longer term plans. And Tim Steiner needs to be involved in choosing the next manager because he's done a fantastic job of choosing recent players, give him the power. Sullivan should take a back seat, and that's how it should work, but it won't.
Yeah. And just another topic to discuss is that, you know, we've built a sort of like you know, boardroom there now, and I suppose, you know, with sporting director Mark Noble there, and, you know, Mark Noble's always been a fan of Moyes. Of course, you know, he was a player under David Moyes, but Mark Noble's a fan of this football club, and he can't like what's going on, and he seriously must have a say in what's going on here. And I can't imagine Mark Noble sitting there going, yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it's going, because he's a fan. He'd have seen those banners. I'm sure he was there or he was watching, and he's seen the response from the fans. That should just flick a light bulb in his mind as well and go, this ain't working. We need a change. And it's blatantly obvious there. We need a change and we need a restructure. You know, the whole background staff, I'm afraid they need to go because Moyes has instilled his own philosophy and structure. You know, it's all Moyes. You know, it's all set up around Moyes. Apart from Steiden, you'd say. You know, it's all Moyes, and that's what needs to change.
Yeah, Moyes got too much power because it's also human nature that you know, you get bored listening to the same voice. And Moyes been there 4 years, and you can't keep motivating the same players with the same things. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson was a genius at that. You know, he'd always bring in a different number 2 every 2 or 3 years. So a different voice, different ideas. Sells some players, put fresh blood in. Pep's the same. You know, he sells brilliant players every summer, brings some more in. You know, changes the coaching staff. That's what you need. You need refreshment. I mean, if you're going to work the same day, listen to the same bloke saying the same thing, thinking, okay, I know we're not allowed to shoot outside the penalty box. I know you want us to sit back for the last 20 minutes. After a while, you think, I've had enough of this. You know, they're footballers. They want to play football. I'd imagine probably 95% of footballers play football because they enjoy the game. They have to be very, very good at it and get very well paid, but they want to go out and try and score goals and try and win games. They don't want to sit back for 75 minutes and then attack if we're still 0-0. It's not how you play football nowadays.
No, and you're right. And these players have come into football and have come into West Ham, and you know, they've probably seen and some of them have probably been alerted of the way we play football. But you play football to excite people and to excite the crowd that pay money, and like, we aren't exciting people at the moment. Like, we're going because it's just what we do. It's a ritual and it's just what we do. You know, we follow this club at the end of the day, and you know, we are massively, you know, we're not being taken advantage of, but they're taking the mick out of us. They're utterly taking the mick out of us. And like, surely for the natural progression of the football club, and Sullivan wants the best for the club. I don't believe that he wants the club to tank into, you know, the Championship and all the rest of it. He wants the best for the football club, no matter what you think of him. You know, he's been here a long time, 10 or so years. But surely, Sullivan, you want the best for this football club, and it's blatantly obvious. Make the change.
Yeah, I mean, Moyes kills people as well. Like, 4 hours, bless him. West Ham's biggest fan. Every time we scored, he'd jump up over the stadium pretty much. He was so happy. And this season, he's just been desperately upset. You could see he was. He just wanted out of the club. And that's purely down to his man management. 4 hours has had enough. He was desperate to get out of here. And it's a shame how it's going, to be honest. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. George says Skamaka was a good. Yes, Skamaka is another one as well, isn't it? You know, decent striker, utilised in an awful fashion. Robert says at least Moyes won't have to worry about the choice of Phillips or Sucha for the next game.
I feel sorry for Phillips. I'll be honest with you. I think the first couple of games, he had some hospital passes. I don't think that was a red card yesterday. I'm sorry. That what's his name? Morgan Gibbs White, whatever he's called. He made a meal out of that. He shouldn't have pushed the first one, yellow card out. That was stupid. But the second one, that's not a booking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he put the referee in that position, and you know, I don't have any complaints about it, but it just annoyed me again where Casemiro had that challenge today for Manchester United on a yellow card in the first half, which it was a yellow card, and he didn't get sent off. The ref went, no, that's not a yellow card.
Well, Gameres, West Ham Newcastle, he got booked. Yeah. 1 minute later, did exactly the same, if not worse. Nothing happened.
Yeah,
you know, Newcastle have had 10 men for 70 minutes, but it's just inconsistency of referees is another subject, Jake.
It is. David says Moyes' catalogue of mistakes on and off the pitch. He has to go, but don't trust Sullivan to make the right decision. Mandy says, given the fact that we need to rebuild for 2 years, Potter would be ideal to build and keep us in the league, because if Kudus leaves with Paqueta, then we are facing relegation. Yeah, I'm not sure if Potter is the answer, but I agree with the last part. If Kudus and Paqueta leave, then you know we are a bang average, and we're not even a squad because our squad has been stripped away. We are a team with a couple of subs that can come on.
Yeah, I think Bowen's hoping his 7-year contract has not been filed. Say invisible ink signature or something, because he must be thinking what's going on here. Yeah, now it's hard to believe we were in such good spirits after the Conference League and start of the season. We started very well. This year has been just dreadful all the way through. Dreadful. I think it started, Jake. I think it really started for me, whether you agree, it was the quarter final at Liverpool, the team that was picked there. Yeah. The white flag that was raised at the start of that. It was a quarter final of a cup, and he just basically said, "Don't fancy it." Yeah. For the second time, he did it against Arsenal the year before, or 2 years before that as well. It's just very strange.
Absolutely, you know, it was a complete insult to the fans. You know, I know Happy Hammer, who's in the chat, was at Liverpool away. You were at Liverpool away. I was at Liverpool away. It was a complete and utter insult to the fans, and you're probably right. That signified the beginning of what was coming. And you know, apart from the Arsenal, and you know, we had the Arsenal game, the Man United game, sandwiched in between. But after those two, then it's all gone downhill. Since then, I need to scroll down the comments because Sharky has been very generous. He has gifted a channel membership to who? To Dad. That's very nice. Sharky, thank you very much. Indeed, our 25. Oh, my StreamYard's just gone crazy. What's gone on here? We are live. It's all just gone blank. There you go. We're back again. Let me click on it. Sharky, thank you very much. Our 25-month member of the channel just gifted a membership. That is greatly appreciated. Well done, Sharky. Your support is always welcome here, of course. Now I've got to scroll back up on these comments. We'll start here. Paul says tone definitely has changed with Moyes in his post-match interview. Still clutching at the same straws, relying on his credit in the bank, but it does seem to be dawning on him that he's out of his depth now. I'd like to agree with that, but I think he's probably blinded by it enough that he can't see it, and he's still sticking to his same, you know, narrative and morals and beliefs that he's not seeing it. I don't think he's seeing it, but yeah, I think
Jake, the challenge is someone to find an interview where we've lost, where he hasn't mentioned the 6th, 7th, and Europe, 3 years in Europe. I don't think that's.
Yeah.
I think every time we lose or he gets criticised, he brings that up.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Our centre backs should have something to ask for. What the hell's happened to them? It's just been a knock-on effect throughout the whole side, hasn't it? Yeah, you can start with the defensive calamities that have continued, you know, for the last couple of months. That hasn't helped us at all. Moyes has a deep defensive mentality. You know, we have Paul Merson come out of the Arsenal game here. That ain't a Moyes side. We've got defenders out of their depth for what we're trying to do. Agurd and Mavropanos are decent defenders, but they're decent defenders in a side that doesn't play a low block, in a progressive team, you know, because they can express themselves a bit more. I believe there's a player in both Mavropanos and Agurd. You know, I'll stick by that. Zuma's gone. His legs are gone. He's finished. And it pains me to say that because I think he's a good centre-half. But his legs are just giving way. But those two, they have potential. but not in this sort of system that continually sucks the life out of all of these players, Gary. Just completely sucks the life out of these centre-halves.
Yeah, I think, Zuma, you're right. Positionally, he's our best centre-back. He instinctively knows where to be, but his legs are gone. You know, he's like the old Spurs guy, Ledley King now. His knees are gone, his legs are gone. I don't think he needs the additional burden of captaincy because he's not a captain. It's a very strange choice for me. Captain, I would give it to Bowen, something like that, because at the end of the day, he seems to love West Ham. He puts his heart and soul into it. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I'm not sure. I've discussed with you many times, Jake. James Ward-Prowse, I don't know what. I don't know. He lost it. Games seems to pass him by sometimes. I don't know. But there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you have Ward-Prowse and Souček in the same time, that's where the issue lays. And I didn't think he was awful yesterday. I didn't think he was fantastic by any stretch. But look, I've said from the start with James Ward-Prowse, the player's got a ceiling, and the ceiling is relatively low in what he can do. He's a neat and tidy midfielder that will protect the ball at times and make the safe pass. You need Paqueta in that midfield to make the adventurous and progressive pass to kickstart attack. Ward-Prowse doesn't do that. Ward-Prowse is, quite neat and tidy in what he does, but apart from that, you're struggling to how he actually affects a game. And I think that's fair. Let's have a look at it. David Moyes must play Kudus and Bowen at the top rather than playing Kudus at the left, on the left hand side. I think it would be better if they got close to each other. To be honest, if our players actually, we had a bit of cohesion and we sort of played together, that would help the situation, Gary.
Yeah, it would. Like I said, you're right at the start, Jake. I just can't see where the tactics come in. I don't know what they're doing all week on the training pitch. They all seem, as you said quite rightly, they're miles apart from each other. The midfield's miles away from the forwards. There's, when they get the ball, we pass it sideways. So, when Kudus and Bowen do get the ball, they've got 14 defenders in front of them. They're not getting a chance to use their strength, which is to run at the fullbacks and have a shot. They're both quite keen to do, Bowen and Kudus, but they're not getting a chance now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Burnley is the next opportunity we have to pick up points. That is woeful. European champions, we know what we aren't. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, I'm going to scroll down these comments because we are going to wrap things up inside the hour. Where did we get to? Let's start here. Habi Amaret says, I really believe that if they sack Moyes now and use Heitinger for the rest of the season, it will give us more than a lift than what we've got. I agree. In a month we could be out of Europe, and 12th, and the season is all but gone then, Gary.
Yeah, we are plummeting down. I think Chelsea are 1 point behind us now. I think, if I'm right in saying.
They were 9 points behind us at one point.
Yeah, and they've been terrible this season, haven't they? Let's be honest. So, I think realistically, if I had £100, we're down the bookies now, I'd say bottom half of the table and nothing in Europe. We play them decent in Europe, they're going to rip us apart, unfortunately, where we're playing at the moment.
Exactly. Ollie's got a really good suggestion. I think what this situation needs is Avram Grant. Do you know what? I agree. I agree. Mark says getting rid of Moyes will cost 1 million. Each position we lose costs 1.52 million. But there we go. So it pays itself straight off the bat, doesn't it?
Basic maths, that is.
Yeah. So look, if we can't work that out, then I don't hold us much hope. Amphos says, Moyes is not a very good businessman. Just imagine someone saying, well, 2 years ago, our finances were great. When at present, you're like bankrupt or closing down. Always the past. Do you know what? That is so true. Oh dear, that is so true. Sums it up perfectly. But look, that's the predicament we find ourselves in. Stuart says, where is Zuma the captain? He's hiding because he's been shambolic. Get Alvarez as captain. Yeah, I agree. Glorious. Amphos says glorious role. That's a very expansive word to describe my ranting, but thank you very much for the kind words, Amphos. That is greatly appreciated. What's this here? First member to 30 months. Get us to have Jake to visit for a week. If you want to get rid of me. That's really nice, isn't it? That's really nice. See, I thought that was going to be something nice, but you're just taking the mick now, aren't you? Sharky, modest, but probably true. I keep this channel going. 25-month member of the channel. I don't know why you consistently do it to yourself, Sharky, but we appreciate it nevertheless. Thank you very much indeed. Fiorentina spent 34.5 million euros in 5 years. We spent 500 million euros. Forget the past. The present counts. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. Huddersfield Town won league champions 3 years in a row, but look at them now. There's many teams have got glorious histories. It's all about the present.
It is. Areola keeping us from being a total embarrassment. Yeah, Areola's keeping our goal difference to something that's mildly respectable at this point, because we could have, it could have been 6 or 7 yesterday. If things would have slightly went against us and they would have been clinical, they could have easily scored 6, and that's not even out of the realms of possibility. So that sums it up.
I said before, I think as a shot stopper, he's the best in the Premier League. His reactions are amazing. He's got weaknesses in terms of commanding his box, his distribution and his voice, etc. But his shot stopping, wow, he's comes up with some amazing saves. It really does.
Absolutely, yeah. No, he is. You won't find a better shot stopper in the league, I don't think, than Alphonse Areola. Distribution needs work, and commanding the box sometimes, as you said, it can be frustrating. But it's full marks in the shot stopping sense for Alphonse Areola, and I can't believe there's been people over the last couple of months saying that we should drop him, which has confused me a little bit. Alvarez should be captain 100%. I'd agree with that. Trini says exactly. I feel they both quality, but Moyes plays from deep. Zuma unfortunately can no longer rely on his physicality. James Ward-Prowse and Soucek should be either or. 100% agree. That is a bang on. A proper leader on the pitch, but we've got so much going on throughout the entire squad that only a manager change can improve us. And there's so many issues that go from top to bottom, where a whole fundamental change, as Happy Hammer alludes to, is needed for sort of a societal change in the football club.
I don't know what the tipping point would be for Simon. I suppose if we lost to Brentford and then Everton and then, God forbid, Burnley, I think that would definitely be it.
Yeah.
I can't see Moyes surviving those 3. Personally, but you never know. I think even Sullivan would say, "Okay, we've lost home to Burnley. He's got to go now."
Yeah, exactly. Here's a question: when we go and see Paulo Di Canio live in 3 weeks, should we ask him whether he wants a job, Gary?
Well, passionate. He's got the passion, hasn't he? For sure. Yeah. He would be fun. He would be fun.
That would be good. I enjoy that no matter what happened. Let's get PDC in, get it done right now, as Dad alludes to. Gary, does this mean on the 8th of March, am I going to have to get my wallet out to buy you a drink? Oh, he's froze.
Yeah.
Oh, he's froze. What's he saying? No, not the time to freeze, Gary. Oh, go on. Say that again. We lost you.
I said Paolo and Dixie, one as manager and assistant manager. Can you imagine that?
And I've got to buy you a drink, have I?
You can buy one if you want to. Do you know where your wallet is?
No, I don't know. There's nothing in it. What do you want? Water?
Yeah, water.
Very good. Very good. Kudus is getting fauna.
Yeah, he is.
Fauna-oused. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Happy Harriet's exactly right. That's exactly what's happened to him. You can see it already.
Sure, absolutely. Yep, I like that term. Kudus has been fauna-oused. Yep, faunalized, fauna-oused, whatever you want to say. That has been him for sure. Yeah, and that's a sad state of it. The tipping point for Steiden would be concrete interest from Liverpool. He surely cannot be happy with the current situation. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He brings success everywhere he goes in terms of the players he brings in. So if for whatever reason success doesn't come, then if Liverpool come calling, he'll be on the first train up there, and you can't blame him for that at all, because he's got no proper affiliation to West Ham. He's come in, he's done a job, and if a bigger club comes in, of course he's going to go, and you can't blame him one bit for that. But look, Gary, we've waffled on for long enough, so give us some final thoughts before we wrap things up.
No, I know we've moaned a lot, and with good reason, but we're all Hammers fans, so let's get behind the team and see if by some miracle we can get a result against Brentford next week.
A miracle is what is needed. We've now got to wait until Monday night. That is a good thing in my book, until West Ham play again. Well done to Sky. We've got to wait. We've got all weekend to enjoy ourselves before the inevitable downfall at the London Stadium on Monday Night Football, where you'll have Jamie Carragher and some other pundit alongside Dave Jones ripping West Ham apart and finally realising how poor we are as a football team. But until then, I'm going to take a couple of days off moaning because I'm getting a little bit bored of it. So I will see you all in a couple of days' time, where we'll come back and probably talk about it again, to be honest. But a nice little gap now, Gary, where hopefully we can all just clear our heads and by some miracle go again.
Exactly. Let's think about Ivan Toney against Aguirre a week on Monday.
Exactly. £2 for him to score?
Nah, he'll definitely score. I'm not taking that bet. That's a surefire.
He's got a bet on for sure. But yeah, look, thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe to West Ham Official if you're new. Thanks to all of you watching in the chat, and your participating comments as well has been greatly appreciated. But until the next one, that's it from us. If you're keeping the faith, I think you're doing a little bit better than I am. So take that as a compliment from us. There's only one thing left to say. I'm knackered, Gary. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, Irons.
And we will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Cheers, Gary.